This is Cerebral Cinema. Movies of the mind.
Cerebral Cinema and the WON Radio Network present to you Superwoman. Yes, Superwoman, the dynamic crime fighter. Superwoman, the champion of justice. Superwoman, who in truth is mild-mannered Chicago news reporter Emily Nesbacher.
Sunday is a big day on CBS. Still waiting in the wings to bring you a variety of entertainment are Rocky Jordan, Horace Heidt, our Miss Brooks, Joe Stafford and Harry Babbitt, The Whistler, and Red Skelton. Now, Del Monte Foods brings you a world of adventure with Rocky Jordan.
This is the Cafe Tambourine?
That's what the sign says out front.
You are Rocky Jordan?
Yeah, who are you?
They call me Kabir. Arabic, meaning big.
You sure live up to your name, Kabir. Who's your chum?
Oh.
Let's have that again.
Oh. Arabic, meaning brother.
Okay, what's it about? What are you doing here?
We come to watch.
Watch what?
You, Mr. Jordan.
Sorry, I don't put on a floor show. Now look, Kabir, and, Is that all he can say?
He talks little, but he watches well.
All right, I'll go along with the gag. You're going to watch me. And exactly what am I going to do that's worth watching?
You, Mr. Jordan, are going to help make right a great wrong.
Right a wrong, huh?
And until you do, we sit at that table and watch.
Del Monte, the brand you trust for flavor in so many good foods. Yes, Del Monte, the best-liked brand of canned fruits and vegetables in the whole wide world, takes you now to the Cafe Tambourine for another adventure with Rocky Jordan. The Cafe Tambourine in Cairo, gateway to the ancient East, where modern adventure and intrigue unfold against a backdrop of antiquity. Tonight's Rocky Jordan story, The Return of Toni.
Well, that was the beginning, when two Sahara Huskies planted themselves at the table of my tambourine, explaining that they'd come to watch me. They just sat there, never taking their eyes off me. Then I had another visitor. He didn't belong in a place like my cafe, either. He was native, shabby, and small, except for his ears. His name was Arnab, Arabic meaning rabbit.
A most delightful good morning, Jordan, sir.
Sure, Arnab, but the seats are for the customers.
As you say, Effendi, for the customers. Serve me now, sir.
Just what do you want?
Why, the arak, perhaps?
Double, of course.
Of course. I will say when.
I'll bet you will.
When? Now we are living. Here is looking toward you, Effendi.
Hold it, Arnab. 10 piastres comes first.
And I will pay. There you are. A $5 bill, American.
Huh?
And keep the change, my good gentleman.
Now, look, supposing we cut the act. No matter what else you may be, you're a good Muslim, and no good Muslim ever took a drink. Now, what's it about?
So, you choose to insult a good customer. Very well, I will take my business to elsewhere.
Arnab hadn't touched his drink, and the bill still lay on the counter. I grabbed it, figuring to cut him off at the door. That's when I saw something else. A folded slip of paper he placed carefully under the bill. I let Arnab go and had a look. There was a note in a woman's handwriting, and it read, Dear Rocky, I'm in desperate need of your help. Please, if I ever meant anything to you, come at once. It was the name below that meant something. Toni Sherwood. And without even saying goodbye to my two watchers, I was out front catching a taxi. Toni Sherwood. I'd known her first in Istanbul and then in Cairo. A newspaper reporter, and a good one. We'd seen a lot of each other, and it could have gone on, but I knew my life wasn't for her. In St. Louis, it might have worked, but this was Cairo, and I didn't know if I was ever going home. Toni had left Egypt almost 2 years ago. We both knew why. But now she was back, and the note meant trouble. There was no address, but the letterhead said Shepherd's Hotel. 10 minutes later, I was in the lobby. My friend Archie was behind the desk.
Well, Rocky, old boy.
Hello, Archie. Let's have the room number of Miss Toni Sherwood, huh?
With all possible speed.
Sherwood. I say, Rocky, are you sure she gave a right name?
There's no mistake. Why?
Oh, we had no Sherwood registered here. Begins to look as though you've been jilted, old boy.
I moved over to the phone and called the airport and had them check the manifests of incoming passengers. And I got a quick answer. Toni Sherwood landed at 5:30 that morning by TWA from Algiers. Then I remembered the big act Arnab had put on bringing me the note and what Kyber had said about me righting a great wrong. And I knew this was something for the police. Only I didn't get to Captain Sabaya. Sergeant Greco was there.
Captain Sabaya is much too busy with important matters. I am in full charge, Mr.
All right, Greco. It's about Toni Sherwood. You remember her?
My memory rarely fails me. What about her?
She's back, somewhere in Cairo. You and Sam have got to help me find her.
Indeed. Your quest for a lady is hardly a matter for the Cairo
You
police.
got it wrong, Greco. She's disappeared. She's in trouble. Here, look at this note she sent me. It'll tell you.
Her feelings for you are made quite obvious, Mr. Jordan.
There's more than that, Greco.
Then why does the message not say so?
Toni wouldn't send for me like this unless it was something big. Now, where do I get to Sam?
I repeat that he is not here. His entire day is taken directing the guard for the ceremonies attending the return to Cairo of Milad Yeager.
Yeager? The big humanitarian, the leader for world peace? What would he need a guard for?
Because he is a man of importance. Now, I suggest that you take your game of hide and seek elsewhere. Is that clear, Mr. George?
Sure, Greco. I shouldn't have wasted my breath. Well, there was one character who had some answers. Arnab, the rabbit, who brought me Toni's note. I found his address, a wooden termite nest that should have been condemned before King Tut. Arnab's room was on the 3rd floor. I had to watch my footing on the rotten steps, and I took it slow. In a place like this, I get to imagining things. But just as I hit the first landing, I knew this time it was real.
No! I beg you in Allah's name! No!
It was Arnab's voice from above, and I went up the steps 3 at a time. My foot went through a bad one, and it slowed me down. As I made the 3rd floor, I heard footsteps sliding down the back way, and they were going fast. Arnab's door swung open, and I went in, sure of what I'd find. The room was in a shambles with signs of a fight everywhere. But Arnab was gone.
Police headquarters, Sergeant Greco speaking.
Greco, put Sam on.
Mr. Jordan, I have told you the Captain Sabaya is with Milad Yeager.
Get him, will you?
I am quite sure he is no more interested in your amours than I am. If this concerns Miss Toni Sherwood.
You've got another one to look for now. Arnab.
And who is he?
He's the guy who brought Toni's message. He's gone, too.
I shall convey your report to the Bureau of Missing Persons. Is that quite all, Mr. Jordan?
Ah, forget it, Greco. I'll find her myself. It was all up to me, so I was off again, wandering Cairo. I spent all afternoon going to places Toni might have been, but it seemed she'd vanished like a desert mirage at sunset. Finally, I was standing in front of a little cafe on the Nile Drive where Toni and I had used to drop in. And again, I wondered if I really wanted to see her, except to know she was alive. I found myself inside the door. That's when I thought I was imagining things again. But she was real. Toni Sherwood, the same soft red hair, the same slender, intense face. She was there, calmly munching a sandwich and sipping coffee.
Rocky!
Hello, Toni.
Is that all you're going to say?
Oh, it's been quite a while.
Almost 2 years. Rocky, why are you looking at me like that?
Just trying to understand, that's all.
Understand? Why I went away? You knew as well as I did. We don't have to talk about it, do we?
Oh, it's not that. It's something else. Why are you here now?
I'm still a newspaper gal, Rocky. I didn't have to give that up, too.
Assignment? What kind?
Wouldn't you know? I'm a woman, so naturally they don't give me the big stuff. My specialty is romance. That's a laugh.
Toni.
In Switzerland, it's Rita and Ollie's baby. In Algiers, it's the wedding of Sheikh Ahmed Ben Malouki. In Cairo, what else? King Farouk's latest romance. Read all about it. Toni Sherwood sees all...
Toni, why did you send for me?
What did I send for you?
Here, this note.
Rocky, I didn't write this note.
You didn't write it.
No, I swear I didn't.
There's something more, isn't there? More reason than the king's romance that brought you back to Cairo.
Rocky, listen.
Tell me, Tony.
Yes, Rocky, there is something more. Much more important, but somebody might hear us. I can't tell you here.
Then come on. Let's go where you can. We got out to the sidewalk looking for a taxi, but another car was at the curb. The driver's face was turned the other way. I caught the glint of his gold cufflinks, but nothing more, because just then the back door swung open and two men were out. Who else but my two watchers, Kyber and Hart? Only now they were busier.
Into the car, madame, and quickly.
No, Rocky, help me.
Kyber dragged toward the car as his brother hooked in my path. I swung with everything I had. He just stood there, so I swung again. It was like punching a stuffed elephant. I suddenly twisted past him and was half inside the car when the lightning struck with a judo cut from behind. I hit the sidewalk, and the ringing in my ears mixed with the roar of a motor car. When I opened my eyes, the car and Toni were gone. Only her purse lay on the sidewalk, the contents scattered around. The little date book lay half open. As I picked it up, I noticed a notation on the front sheet that made me think Sam might be in the case after all. It said, Jaeger, 9 p.m. But I was thinking about something else. It was all clear now. Me, the finger man, who'd done just what somebody had wanted me to do. Led him right to Toni Sherwood.
Del Monte Foods is presenting tonight's adventure with Rocky Jordan. Friends, do you know how good catsup really can be? Next time you're shopping, tomorrow, say, buy a bottle of Del Monte catsup. Then when you get home, pour some on that hamburger sandwich you're just fixing for lunch. See the bright red color. Why, it makes you hungry just to look at it. Notice the fragrance of those delicious spices. Then taste the rich spiced tomato flavor. Tangy, zesty, just the way a good catsup should taste.
Yes, Larry, I know I can always count on Del Monte catsup to please the men folks. There just seems to be something special about Del Monte catsup men like.
Ladies, there are many special things about Del Monte catsup to please a man. But first and foremost among these is pineapple vinegar. That sparkling, superlatively fine vinegar that gives Del Monte catsup such lively flavor. And don't forget, Del Monte catsup is the only catsup made with pineapple vinegar.
And as a housewife, its price is important to me, too. Del Monte catsup, you know, costs less than many other quality brands.
Why not try this big treat in catsup enjoyment? Buy Del Monte catsup tomorrow. And now we take you back to Cairo and tonight's Rocky Jordan story, The Return of Toni.
Well, one thing was clear now. I'd been sent to find Toni, only for someone else. Now she was in their hands, and I alone was to blame. So I had to find her again, and this time it wouldn't be so easy. Anyhow, I knew a kidnap was something to open Sam's eyes, so I got straight to headquarters. Sam was there this time.
And rest assured that this will be given...
Sam, I gotta see you.
Jordan, can you not see that I'm occupied?
I'm leaving, Captain Stibai. There's nothing more I can say for now.
Very well, Mr. Jaeger.
Jaeger, did you say?
Yes. Mr. Jaeger, this is Mr. Jordan.
A pleasure, Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, we got a mutual friend. Toni Sherwood.
Sherwood? There's so many people.
Yeah, sure.
Captain, I shall depend on you then about this matter.
As you say, Mr. Jaeger, as you say.
I hardly need repeat the urgency. Until tonight, then. Goodbye, Captain.
Goodbye.
Mr. Jordan.
Jordan, will you kindly explain to me what this is about?
So Grego didn't tell you.
Tell me what?
About Toni Sherwood. She's been kidnapped.
Toni Sherwood? When did this occur?
Less than half an hour ago, down on the Nile Drive. Big brother act named Kyber and Hawk dragged her into a car. Somebody else was there, but I didn't get a look. Are you going to do something, Sam?
Abduction is certainly an affair for the police.
Well, let's start with Jaeger.
Without Jaeger, Jordan?
Yeah, I got the feeling he was putting some kind of pressure on you.
There could be no possible connection.
Now, look. Look at this date book that dropped out of Tony's purse. Jaeger, 9 p.m.
But not surprising, Jordan. Being a newspaper woman, she was undoubtedly to cover the reception in Mr. Yeager's home. You, of course, know who he is.
Oh, sure. Humanitarian, peace leader. When did he get home?
At 5:30 this morning from Algiers. Jordan, do you not read the papers?
Well, I've been a little busy.
Look here. His picture, all about him here on the front page.
Mm-hmm. Who are the others? The good-looking lady.
Oh, she is Zelda Stanton, one of his entourage. Quite wealthy, I understand.
And the big guy with the mustache, Stephen Vacco.
Yeager's secretary. So you see, Miss Sherwood's abduction could hardly be traced to such as these.
Yeah, maybe.
Jordan, the police will act at once to find Miss Sherwood. However, if someone else should find her first...
Meaning me, Sam? Start placing your bets. Though I was out to follow another lead I should have thought of before. The note written on Shepherd's Hotel stationery. There I got Archie to let me compare the handwriting in the note with signatures on the hotel register. I found one that matched. A woman's name, and it meant plenty. Zelda Stanton, the follower of humanitarian Yeager's cause. And her room was 259.
Yes?
Jordan's the name, Rocky Jordan.
Well, what do you want?
You sent for me, Zelda.
I sent for you.
You sent for me, only you signed the name of Toni Sherwood. It's your handwriting. Here, look at it.
What? I never saw this note before in my life.
Cut it, Zelda. It's too late for that. Now, where's Toni? What have they done with her and why?
Mr. Jordan, I repeat that I have not the slightest idea what you are talking about.
What's it about? A shakedown on Yeager that Toni knows about? You got to get rid of her?
You had best go while you can.
Zelda,
what's
going on?
Stephen, get this man out of here.
Who is he? What does he
I
want?
do not know. He says his name is Jordan.
Get it now, Vacco? Oh, that's right, isn't it? Stephen Vacco, secretary to one Millard Yeager.
Leave this room, Mr. Jordan, at once.
Oh, no, Vacco. This is too good. You weren't smart to keep on wearing them.
Wearing what? What are you talking about?
The gold cufflinks. You were wearing them when you and your chums kidnapped Toni Sherwood.
You completely bewilder me, sir. As for the cufflinks, you will find thousands in Cairo who wear them.
Yeah, but they don't tie in like you do, Vacco. You and... Zelda, drop that phone.
Hello. Give me the house detective at once.
I was too late to stop her. A house dick and his questions would take too much time, so I ducked out and down the back way fast. Zelda and Vacco could keep. My next try was the newspaper office. It was late and the main force had gone home. But there was a guy in shirt sleeves with a press pass stuck in the band of his crumpled hat, and his feet were propped up on the editor's desk.
Hiya, Mac. Take a chair.
Oh, thanks, but I'm looking for Toni Sherwood.
You too, Mac?
That means somebody else is looking.
Phone calls all day. Boss told me to ask Rocky Jordan.
Who's he?
Oh, I don't know, some crummy cafe guy. Me, I just cover the nightclubs.
Hey, this envelope on the desk from Istanbul. It's addressed to Toni.
Hey, you open everybody's mail, Mac?
It's a specialty. It was from an Istanbul clipping bureau. There were several news items dated 5 years ago. All reports on the trial and conviction of a man named Stephen Hahn, embezzler. And all carrying Toni Sherwood's byline. I didn't need any more. Hey, look, I gotta use that phone.
No kidding.
Police headquarters, Tobias speaking.
Rocky again, Sam.
Jordan, I cannot talk now. I am at this moment leaving.
Just one thing about Millard Yeager. He was pressing you about something. What's Yeager scared of? Swindle? Embezzlement? Sam, you still there?
I am here, Jordan.
Thanks, Sam. That's all I wanted to know. Hey, do you ever try whistling through your hat scoop?
No, too inconvenient.
Here, let me help you.
Great killer, ain't you, Mac?
Shoving his hat over his face gave me a chance to lift his press pad. I was going to need it to get me into a big reception at the home of Millard Yeager. It took me half an hour to find his house on Cairo's outskirts, a mixture of the best continental and Egyptian, complete with backyard shed with the usual pigeon roost on top. The party was in full swing, and the pass got me in.
Ah, Mr. Jordan, is it not?
That's right, Mr. Yeager.
I was not aware that you were with the press.
Oh, they sent me the last minute.
Oh, good. I trust that you will enjoy yourself. Please make yourself at home.
I moved around till I spotted Zelda Stanton with some other guests. I didn't show myself and kept looking for somebody else, Stephen Vacco. He wasn't there. I tried some other rooms, then I stepped out the side door and stood there wondering my next move. A sudden fluttering of wings from the back caught my ear, and I saw it was a bunch of pigeons flying out of their big roost. They wouldn't do that at night unless something was going on inside. I moved carefully back till I stood at a small, half-open door to the shed. Inside, somebody was scratching around what looked like some filing cases with a small flashlight. I stepped in.
Come here. Who is it? Jordan.
Still at it, aren't you, Vaco?
No. Hey, speak softly. The others...
You wouldn't want them to know. Of course not, Vaco. Well, what is your name? Hahn? Stephen Hahn?
Oh, so she told you.
Yeah, Toni was going to tell me, but you grabbed her first. Where is she?
Mr. Jordan, please. She is safe.
Yeah, she's better be.
I swear she is all right. I had to get her out of the way to keep her quiet. Till I had a little more time.
Sure. Stephen Hahn, convicted of embezzlement in Istanbul 5 years ago. Toni reported your trial. She saw you. Maybe you changed your looks a little since then, grew a mustache. But she knew you.
Yes.
That wouldn't do, would it? Because you had more plans. Another job, Hahn? Against Millard Yeager? A man who's trying to do something good?
No, you are mistaken.
Supposing we talk to Yeager about it, huh?
Mr. Jordan, please lower your voice and listen.
All right, make it real fast.
My name is Hahn, Stefan Hahn. I was convicted in Istanbul for embezzlement, but I was not guilty.
Oh, naturally. Go on.
Hear me, Mr. Jordan. I was accused of appropriating large sums of money from a world peace organization of which I was a follower. But it was not I who took the money, but the leader, Millard Yeager.
Oh, sure.
His organization is a fraud, Mr. Jordan. It was skillfully arranged by certain of his intimates that I take the blame while Yeager was off traveling the world. He'd not even seen me and was not at my trial.
So what now? You're fixing up for revenge?
Not revenge, but only to save others from my fate.
Yeah, like Khyber said, I was going to help right a great wrong.
I am here only to find conclusive evidence that Millard Yeager is operating a gigantic fraud.
So all that had to wait till now, huh?
Mr. Jordan, after my release from prison a year ago, I gained Yeager's confidence and soon became his secretary. Try as I might, I could get nothing on him. I knew that Yeager's return to his home in Cairo was my last chance.
Only Toni saw you and recognized you. When, on the plane from Algiers this morning?
Yes. She kept looking at me. I knew that I must stop her before she told Yeager who I was.
You lost her at the airport, so you called her paper and got my name. That's when Zelda wrote the note that sent me to find Toni for you. That means Zelda's on your side.
Well, we are quite fond of each other. When she learned of what I was trying to do, she agreed to help me.
Yeah, that leaves Arnab, who knew too much. What did your boys do with him?
He is safe and well, held in a little court north of Giza.
That where Toni is, too?
Yes. Mr. Jordan, I wish neither her nor you any harm. But if I could make you believe that...
You think the stuff in those files will help?
Hey, look for yourself. It is all here. Learn not only of Yeager's hoax, but his plans to swindle his trusting followers again.
I don't do that.
It will hardly be necessary, Mr. Jordan.
But, Mr. Yeager...
If you turn the flashlight on my hand, you'll see the gun. Raise your hand.
Your ears been burning, Yeager?
The absence of both of you from the house disturbed me, so I find you here. My trusted secretary who learns too much.
And it is all true. You cannot deny it now.
Need I deny anything? What is said here will soon vanish with you. Both of you.
Gunshots bring a lot of people.
Yes, the police. Already I've warned Captain Sabaya of my danger. I find you both here where you should not be. You attack me and I kill you. Need I say more?
Yeager was at the only door and we were trapped. My eyes searched the dark roof for some way of escape. There was nothing except a big plump pigeon perched next to my raised hand. If I could grab it and throw before the shot came...
Not so, Mr. Jordan. Your thoughts hasten your...
Yeager, drop the gun!
Captain Sabaya.
Sam, how'd you get here?
Did not Mr. Yeager himself get me assigned to protect him?
Yes, I did, but not here.
And why not? While my patrol were in front and in your house, I chose to cover the back for possible intruders. I had just stepped in here to investigate when Mr. Hahn came. The new Jordan, the new Mr. Yeager. Need I say more?
In just a moment, Rocky Jordan returns to conclude tonight's story. You know, out here in the West, where men are men and women are extra good cooks, I suppose almost everyone's heard of Del Monte tomato sauce.
Heard of it? Larry, a whole generation of homemakers have cooked with it. After all, it's the original tomato sauce.
That's just my point, exactly. Women know from experience they can count on it to cook rich, spiced tomato goodness into all kinds of thrifty dishes like stew, beans, or meatloaf. Actually, when so many women are honestly convinced that no other brand has ever matched Del Monte's exclusive combination of fragrant spices and ripe tomatoes, you just can't help but believe it has something special to offer in flavor.
Well, it does. And since Del Monte tomato sauce costs so little compared with all your other ingredients, the important thing is to get the very best flavor every time.
And that's a cooking secret that's worth plenty in anybody's kitchen. Friends, Del Monte tomato sauce costs only a few cents a can, yet its dependable quality and flavor offers you all kinds of help. Why ever risk disappointment? Be sure you get Del Monte tomato sauce. Back now to Rocky Jordan for the conclusion of tonight's story.
Sam and his boys bundled everybody concerned down to headquarters. Stephen and Zelda had some questions to answer about Tony's abduction, but neither of them had much to worry about. Me, I caught a taxi the quickest way out of the court north of Giza. Kybir and his brother Hawk were there guarding the door, but when I told them what had happened, they faded into the night. Tony and little Arnab were inside and safe. I put Arnab in the taxi for home, and Tony and I hired a horse-drawn Gary back to Cairo.
What are you thinking about, Rocky?
Oh, you've got your story. The big one.
You got it for me. Just like old times.
Old times. Yeah, today's the way it always was.
Oh, but I didn't mean it that way.
Danger, violence. That's all you'd ever find with me, Tony. And don't ask me why.
I never did ask.
It's not for you. What you want is a home, a quiet one, not like this.
You always did tell me what I wanted. Why couldn't I ever decide?
You would decide, Tony, but too late. Can't you see it really wouldn't work?
Please. We're at it again, aren't we?
We won't talk about it anymore.
That's better.
Anyhow, we can see each other while you're in Cairo. You won't be too busy for that.
Rocky.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm so terribly fed up with everything. Chasing all over the continent after nothing. I'm going home, Rocky.
Home?
Home? To St. Louis.
Yeah, that's something you want.
Don't we both? It's snowing there now. Maybe the lake at Forest Park is frozen over.
Yeah, I'll bet they blocked off Hastings Hill for the bobsled.
No river excursion boat, but that can wait till summer. Oh, Rocky, why don't you ever go back? I'm sorry. I promised once I'd never ask you that again.
Well, you're here to ask it. That's what counts.
Yes, Rocky. I'm glad that note brought you to me once more. Even if I didn't send it.
For the finest in tomato flavor, enjoy the whole family of Del Monte tomato products.
Del Monte catsup and chili sauce, Del Monte tomato sauce and tomato juice,
And Del Monte whole peeled tomatoes.
Remember, buy wisely. Buy for flavor. Buy Del Monte. Del Monte, the brand you trust for flavor in so many good foods. Rocky Jordan, written by Larry Roman and Gomer Toole, stars Jack Moyles in the title role with Jay Novello as Sam Tobias, and is produced and directed by Cliff Howell, with original music composed and conducted by Richard Arant. Remember, you have a date next week at the Cafe Tambourine, run by Rocky Jordan. Same time, same station, and the story is Madame Dulac's Daughter. For dessert after a hearty meal, for a sunny, inviting salad, try Del Monte pineapple. Any style, sliced, crushed, chunks, tidbits, and for refreshment, juice, too. All with the luscious flavor of ripe tropical fruit. Remember, Del Monte pineapple.
Cerebral Cinema hopes you have enjoyed this movie of the mind.